Hi Aries, welcome to Ruby Reads Tarot. I'm Ruby. I have a reading for the month of June. Let's play some tarot. So, Mercury's going into retrograde, a whole bunch of other planets are in retrograde, and so this is what it feels like for everything to come to a head. How, right? I think you'll understand when I say that in this month, whatever gets pushed out of your life, or whatever you decide to push out of your life, I think you kind of reach the end of a cycle with it. I think enough really is enough for you, Aries. I think you've been through the whole thing. You've done the backwards, the forwards, the betrayal, the lies, the just, it's too much now. There's nowhere to go back. You know when it hits that point where it's like, right, you've just gone and done everything you could to make me just decide to separate from this thing and I don't want to do it with you anymore. 10 of Swords, that's like, it's betrayal, it's backstabbing, right? It's just draining you of your energy and it's the end of a cycle. Enough, to hell with it. Like enough, Aries. Queen of Swords and the Empress could be in regards to a Libra, could be a Gemini, Aquarius, could be a Taurus also. I've got heavy Libra vibes here. I think you might finally be deciding to cut off a situation with a Libra where you might have thought there was a potential for a lot of growth and development. I think this is something you might have seen a future in. A Knight of Pentacles, you're kind of being asked to move along, to take what you know and take what you're left with, which I think is a lot. And I think sometimes it's better for one to preserve their dignity than hold on to a situation because of the hope, or having someone dangle, or have someone like manipulate you into a false sense of security. I think, Aries, the real thing for you to bear in mind now is that you have an opportunity to move forward, and you would really be doing yourself a lot of favors to take what you've learned, to really embrace the fact that it might be a slow and steady change, but it will be a change in the direction that you've actually been wanting, and it'll be one that'll be prosperous and lucrative for you. This could be a job offer, this could be moving, this could be the initiation that you take, right? Like, enough is enough. I don't think I want to do this with you anymore. I feel as if, oh, got 4 cards that just popped out. Right, 8 of Swords, 5 of Swords, 5 of Cups, and the 10 of Pentacles was in reverse. I don't read reversals, but I'll just pop this to one side. I think it should be something to be noted. 5 and 5 is the card of conflict. Like, 5 is the number of conflict. And I think you've kind of reached the end of your tether with a certain kind of repetitive cycle of being, I'm feeling entrapment. I feel like you're being entrapped. You are being, like, your sensitivities are being held against you. And I feel as if you might be leaving an established home setup, or the advice here is for you to understand that whatever is spilt has spilt. What you've yet to move forward with gives you a chance to be victorious in your own way and in your own right and in your own direction. And this might even mean, you know, changing up this work situation, taking redundancy if you have to, going in pursuit of the money, I think, is what the advice here is for you. The 10 of Pentacles in reverse, it does make me think, like, I don't read reversals, but if I'm gonna think of a way to apply it upright, you've got to be very cognizant of what it is that you are working towards. And if what you're faced with at the moment, Aries, isn't something that's likely to bring you the longevity or the not just the longevity, but bring you the harmony, the peace, the stability that you're after, then quite clearly with all this chaos, you've really got to ask yourself, how much is it worth it? And for me, I do feel as if you're being manipulated almost. You're being like your fieriness is almost being triggered by crazy making conversation that is causing you to have to defend yourself, and then it's being used against you, and it may be almost as if you're falling into a trap of somebody else's manipulation. You're falling into a trap that somebody else is making you out to be when it's not you. Five of Swords, it's a lot of effort. Like, you know, you'll have to fight your corner every time something comes up. But do you really want to be surrounded by all this, like, bickering and all this fighting just so you can, like, be right? Because whatever you have to walk away from was really not what you wanted, I think. It's not what you need, that's for damn sure. And I think it's kind of... oh, wow. Okay. 9 of Swords, the King of Pentacles. I've got Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus energy here. Also, I think King of Pentacles is you in June. You're really taking a decision and you're going in pursuit of this Empress energy, which means that you got to focus on your bucks. You got to focus on your money. And with Venus in doing this whole retrograde thing, this is money. Venus, you know, is a ruler of finances, and in retrograde, it is testing communications. It's testing people's honesty. It's testing people's integrity. And I think if you're in a situation where you really can't trust who you're around at the moment, and it's even causing you sleepless nights, you gotta get up and move on. There are greener pastures awaiting you. Aries. And I think the real... yeah, moving quickly, Aries. Moving really quickly in a direction of stability. I think this is stability that has come after a lot of, like, paranoia. A lot of, like, not being able to trust who you're around. A lot of fighting. A lot of bickering. A lot of being... things being twisted and manipulated. And, like, you feel trapped and sleepless. And it's too much betrayal. It's just very unsettled energy, Aries. And if you are going to make a decision to go and find your greener pastures, I think you might just do that. You might just really take a risk, take that fieriness and take a chance on it and end up straight where you want to be. I think there's an element of legalities here. There's looking through all of your legal options, seeing what you can do to separate yourself, maybe like what you need to do in terms of contracts of moving. There is movement suggested, Aries. I feel like there is enough to a situation and you just frankly can't handle anymore. And it's sad because I think it once at one time presented a lot of love and happiness and contentment for you, or it was always short of what you needed, but it always came with the promise of bringing you something better or bringing you something good. 9 of Pentacles. Aries. This is also a card of independence. Mercury also goes into retrograde, and it is in the sign of Cancer. This closes out a Mercury retrograde, like water trine that took place all the way from the beginning of this first Mercury retrograde in the sign of Scorpio back in 2018, Libra season, Scorpio season. I think you may have planted some seeds. You may have made a promise to yourself. You may have decided that this is what you wanted to see yourself doing. This leap from independence is very heavily related to the amount of energy that you're willing to put into yourself. The amount of time that you're willing to take to really get in unison with your dreams, really get on page or on the right page of how you are capable of committing to yourself and creating the financial situation that you need. I think it will be really good for you, Aries, to really try and work on your self-confidence right now. You know, there's a lot of retrograde energy that can a lot of the time bring situations to a head that aren't necessarily good to us, and it does trigger our insecurities. And if you're telling yourself you're not good enough, if you're telling yourself that life is shit, if you're telling yourself everything is bad, you really don't stand a chance of enjoying the good things that life has to offer you. And I think June will really show you that the more you're willing to be quite fluent, the more you're willing to get unstuck, the more you're willing to go in search of positivity, you will find it. in abundance, financial abundance. But the key is here to close out cycles of negativity. And a lot of this has to do with the people that you're surrounded by. Unrequited opinions, unsolicited advice, too much in your head, too much swords, too much in your head. And I know that it's difficult sometimes when you've been really like trapped in a situation to find yourself out of it. But the thing here is, this is a time of your personal power. Gemini is a sign, and we've got to use this as an example. This is the motive of the month. It is free flowing. It is like the wind. It is mutable air. It is not attached to any one thing. It changes very quickly. It shapeshifts. It morphs into something else without rhyme or reason. And you will be really serving yourself and helping yourself get out of a situation that you know you've reached the end of, because the mental torture is just too much. And sometimes it gets to the point where it's like, I can't go beyond this point with this situation or this person anymore because it will be to my own detriment. And when the future is kind of offering you a blessing of finances, a job opportunity, a move, some sort of call for independence, you've got to really see where your loyalties lie. They don't lie with hurt and heartache. They lie with your future. And in order for a good future, you've got to make sure that your present, this very moment, is not full of all of this kind of stuff. Focus on yourself in June. I think there's a lot of self-healing that you need to do, a lot of like working on your confidence and making sure that what you're putting out into the ether is nothing but positivity, because that's the best way to guarantee it comes back. I think that's all I have for you. To book a reading, Aries, visit rubyreadstarot.com. Do leave the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. To make a donation to the channel, you can do so. Details will be in the description box. Thank you guys so much for joining. I shall catch you again soon.